And looks like we're live on YouTube. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody on YouTube.
A lot of vibration.
On the YouTube side of things. Welcome. This is unusual. We have been doing this live Q&A hour at like 12 noon for the past week or so, but today schedules got changed and stuff, so we're doing it in the evening time. So hopefully there'll be more of you people that that need some questions answered. More of you that it'll be a better time for you, basically. That's what I'm saying here. So welcome over on Instagram. Thanks for hanging out and joining me. We're going to be talking about, actually, no, wait, let me, for dramatic effect, let me switch it to my camera. Shabam. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to RC with Adam. My name is Steve. Just kidding. It's Adam. We're going to have a live Q&A hour starting right now, about an hour. And this is a great place to get your questions answered. I'll do my best to answer them with a truthful, helpful answer, but no guarantees. But you're going to get some kind of answer anyway. That's for sure. I'll do what I can there. So if you are new to 3D printing or drones or RC stuff, it's a great, I mean, you're making great life choices already, but sometimes it can just be like overwhelming and you're like, what am I supposed to do? Or like, how do I get into this thing? Or how do I solve this problem? Otherwise, it's a ton of fun. So the cool thing is it's worth it. It's worth the, kind of pulling your hair out and stuff like that. But hopefully we can have you do less pulling your hair out and more having fun and learning and stuff. So that's what we're going to do. I'll let you know right now, my energy level is not at its peak like it normally is during like the midday time and stuff like that. So it's kind of more evening chill out time, evening chill problem solving time with RC with Adam. So that's what we're going to do today. So hopefully we can do that. Glad to have you with us on the YouTube side. Welcome everybody. Usually it takes a while for people to show up and stuff. So we're just going to hang out and we're going to talk about some drone stuff, 3D printing stuff like that. I'll just talk about stuff that I've been thinking about, things that I've learned or whatever. And you can just chime in. Maybe you're a beginner and you have beginner questions. You are very welcome. Or if you're not a beginner and you just want to talk drone stuff or 3D printing, let's do it. Let's do it now. Okay, cool. All right, I see we have some folks over on Instagram. Welcome, Instagram people. I'll go ahead and just to keep it interesting, yo says big pun aerial photography over on Instagram. Welcome. And yeah, aerial photography. So, because I don't talk so much about like DJI drones, like your typical, your normal kind of camera drones as much on my channel, but I do that as well, and I use that a lot. And so if we can talk that stuff as well, kind of the more normal drone side of things. But you know how I feel about normal stuff. It's boring, but also highly necessary and useful most of the time. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna I'll share my screen with you guys. I was just looking at this video. I just had this up. It's kind of something cool to show you guys. I'm not sure if the audio is coming through or not. That's okay, but sometimes I just like going through my old videos because it's fun. And it's like I'm watching somebody else's video because I forget what I did in the video. This one was when I
It almost seems like it's a little bit better.
built the new version of the Octablade propeller hub, which is a 3D printed
a little bit stabler,
two-piece propeller hub that uses the dowel prop like blades, basically, that are meant for like their folding propeller blades. And so I put them in there, and so it's a 7-inch sized propeller, and there's 8 blades. So pretty crazy. Actually works pretty darn well, to be honest. And I do plan on doing some more exploration with those types of propeller hubs because
set up
I
on
think it
here, but
really
I
works
don't think it's
pretty darn well,
accurate
and it's
on my
like
OST
very
because it's
accessible.
saying like pulling 5 amps right now, 6 amps,
I mean,
and I feel
like,
like it just has to be pulling more than
I
that.
think it's actually
Like with
not
punch
that
out,
hard to be able to
it
3D
doesn't
print
like
a working
actually,
propeller
yeah,
hub.
it'll easily go to like 40, 50,
Because
60.
this
But
what I've done there seems to work
it's,
like pretty
I don't
well.
know, it might be
Um,
accurate. It just doesn't seem like it
Over
would
on
be
Instagram, Big
that
Pun Ariel
low.
says normal stuff is
That's
amazing.
just very, very surprising. So if
Yeah,
I do like a little, like
in a sense,
just
it's
higher
amazing,
the
but it's also
throttle,
so
9
common,
amps,
you
8
know.
amps,
But yeah, really,
13,
when you
14,
like the technology
9, 20,
is
28,
amazing.
30.
What we consider like normal
Whoa, there, that
technology,
was
it's crazy.
these
To be honest with you,
rates are a
it's super
little
crazy.
higher than that one.
And
It definitely is a little bit louder with more
I don't know
weight
where I was
on
going with
there,
that,
you know,
but
which is what you'd
yeah,
expect.
it
The
is a
rotors
lot of
have to
fun, and
spin
I do
more and
really love like I
move
love
more
getting
air in order
just
for
really nice
for it to
landscape
offset the
shots
weight.
and just get just getting those just really cool aerial shots. It's really cool. It's just
Still
common. It's
really
just more
quiet
common.
though
It's more expected,
for what
which
it
makes
is.
it it's
Lower
kind of
pitch
less
sound that
fun
you
for
would
me, I
normally
guess,
hear with the 7-inch
a little bit.
pops, or like
Oh,
the
and so by the way,
sideways
we are
7-inch pops,
live on
stuff like that.
Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook all at the same time, which is crazy. So I will do what I can. I see we've got just a couple people I think over on Facebook. Thank you, Facebook people. You're the best. And on Instagram
It does sound
and
pretty crazy
YouTube
though.
as well. I'm gonna do my best to
Definitely doesn't
monitor all the
sound
comments and
normal.
stuff. So if you have
What's up,
comments or
Command?
questions, or well, mostly if you have questions about 3D printing and drones and you need some help with something,
Boom.
leave a comment. Leave your question
Okay,
in the form of a comment. I
fantastic.
don't know,
Thanks for
because it's a comment.
joining me,
It's like a
everybody.
comment, but it's
Oh,
a
what a
question.
cool.
But they say the
Just
comments
what
down
doesn't
below.
that
They
look
don't say the
cool?
questions
Just
down
I
the
mean, man,
question
wow.
section.
And again,
Anyway,
you can make this yourself.
Anyway,
You,
but
you can get
you're
the
welcome to
STL
do
files
that.
to
Also,
3D
if
print this
you just
propeller
want
hub.
to
I
talk
would use
drones and 3D
something
printing stuff,
like
let
some
me know. We
extra
can talk
durable
about stuff.
PLA, or
Like, what are you
really my
flying?
preferred
What do you
thing would
think about the
probably be
new
like some kind of carbon
something
fiber
something? I don't know. I
thing
haven't been
so that
keeping up
it's
with all
very
the new
rigid.
latest and greatest stuff because
By
it's
thing, I mean filament.
overwhelming,
Thanks for joining me today.
basically.
Again, check out PCBWay.com
Oh
below.
my
Thanks for sponsoring
gosh.
this.
I'll tell you what though, something I am interested in, kind of talking about latest and greatest stuff, because that's again, that's the stuff that is that's the stuff that sells. That's the stuff that people watch. People watch reviews about stuff. It's like a whole thing, of just like what's new, basically, as opposed to like, are you actually using what you have and stuff. Um, where were we? Oh yeah. So I think you can see that on the screen there. So we were a few days ago we were talking about the HGLRC Recon or Recon. I'm going to say Recon 35 V2. Um, and we were talking about how far the technology has come. It's amazing. I mean, honestly, this drone, it looks cool, but it also doesn't look cool. It looks really boxy, and that bothers me. I don't like it. But it definitely looks very put together. It's got cool lights and stuff, so there's that. But this one, I believe, what does it run? Because we were saying it uses an ELRS receiver, which, it's optional. You can use different stuff. The batteries, it uses two 18650 power batteries to achieve up to 15 minutes long endurance flying. It's funny because 15 minutes, like for quadcopters, like normally like that, like for FPV drones, that's a long time. 15 minutes of flying, that is a long time. For like a DJI camera type drone, that is not, that's not very long at all. That's like at least half the normal flight time. But what's so amazing, and something that was made me think of, is 18650 batteries or lithium ion batteries. The technology has come really, really far. It seems like really recently, just based on the limited kind of stuff that I've seen of them so far. Because I was like looking at them like I think a year ago or so, when I was like totally going to build all of my own 18650 batteries for all this like long range flying that I was going to do, that I actually kind of like didn't do. But I did build some batteries, and it's a lot of fun. Um but it is time consuming and stuff like that. But it's just cool. It's cool to build your own stuff. You know what I mean? It really is. Over on YouTube, welcome. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out. Let me switch over to here. Hi. Hi everybody. Welcome back to RC with Adam. We're talking about drones and 3D printing. If you have beginner questions or just want to talk some of that stuff, drones and 3D printing, leave a question or comment down below. I don't think we have any comments over on YouTube side yet. Where's my YouTube people? Usually I'm on here at about noon o'clock this past week, but we're switching it up today. So I thought maybe there'd be more people in the even time. Let's see, 18650 batteries. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about 18650 lithium ion batteries and how far that technology has come. And I'm trying to find the store. Is this the place? Yeah, let me share my screen with you again. There we go. So I think this is where I've ordered from before, 18650batterystore.com. And what we're looking at are these 18650 batteries because we're talking about how this is what you would use in some drones, some FPV drones, which is like it's way more common now, but it's not as common to use 18650 batteries. Typically, you'd use lithium polymer batteries or LiPo batteries. Now, so just fun facts here. Historically, LiPos are great because you can dump a ton of energy and like high amps. That's what they're good for, dumping high amperage amounts. But they don't last as long, and they tend to be less energy dense. So you don't get as much energy overall, but you can dump it really quickly. Lithium ion batteries, on the other hand, and very commonly, the most common size I would say is the 18650 size. Those have been used for a long time in electronics and like flashlights and stuff, but they haven't been able to dump as much energy and have as much amp draw as the lithium polymers. However, that has been changing, and so especially with um, little drones like these guys, the little 3-inch, I guess 3.5-inch drones, 3.5-inch propellers. That I think these are like the first ones. I could be wrong about that, but these were like kind of the first FPV drones that started using those. As it was basically like a very super small, lightweight, long range drone. And so the idea is you're not ripping crazy freestyle. You are flying more smoothly with lower amp draw because it's so small. However, so that said, what I've seen lately of these 18650s is crazy. I mean, even just here on this front page, I think you can see it. We're looking at these Samsung 25R 18650s, 20 amps. These are the ones that are really impressive. The Molicel P28A, the 35 amps, but there were some that I saw that were even higher. It was like 70 amps or something. Let's find that out. So first we want to look at in stock. We want to look at um oh, I thought we could go by amp draw or something. Well, we definitely want 18650s recommendations. Pack build. Yeah, no, that's not what we're looking. Okay, we're just gonna have to scan this, I guess. Thought there was a way to view this by amp draw. Okay, whatever. But 35 amps, that's getting up really high. I think the larger, oh, it was the larger size, the 21700s, which are even bigger than the 18650s. That might have been the one that I saw that was a really high amp draw, but it's up there. What are we looking at? Is that all of them that they have? I guess that's what's in stock, what's out of stock. Huh. Okay, let's take a look at the 21700s. which is much more common. This would be like for like a larger drone, longer range style, because it's a bigger battery and it's heavier. But I wonder about like you have the Recon 35. I wonder about like kind of what the difference would be if you were using this with the 21700 cells. Because you're going to have a lot more weight with the 21700s, but you're also going to have more electrical power with the 21700s. Um, hmm. Yeah. So the Samsung 45T, 50 amp draw. Oh, maybe that's what it was. And that's like what? Those prices are crazy. The Amp Ace, um, both of these actually, the EVE 40PL 21700 or the Amp Ace JP40 21700, 70 amps at 4000 milliamps. Oh, we've got the VAP cell S41 70 amps, right? That's crazy. We got the Reliance, another 70 ampere. That's nuts. Oh, the Molicel P50B is a 60 amp, 5000 milliamp hour. That's crazy. That one's really expensive. I mean, compared to the other ones. So that's nuts because I mean, even like 50 amps or I think 45 amps, the last time I built a pack, 45 amps was like the most amp draw that you could get. So that is just banana bonkers. And then the weights are going to be different on these and stuff. I guess we have vaping to thank for that. I'm not into vaping. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's healthy. I wouldn't recommend it, but I guess that's what's driving these batteries. Well, that's not the only thing that's driving these batteries, but that is a very common use for these batteries. Um, but of course, other things like electric vehicles and stuff like that. So, but anywho, whoa, that's crazy. That's crazy. Now, as far as the weight, and I know we're kind of like nerding out here, and probably a lot of people are like not interested in this kind of thing, but that's what we're talking about right now. Where did it say the weight? There's the data sheet. I don't know if I want to bother with that. Anyway, oh sorry. Anyway, my point is that with the 21700s, it's going to be a bigger battery, so it's going to weigh more. But you're looking at 4000 milliamp hours versus what's recommended for this guy. I don't know. I don't know what the was recommended, but 4000 milliamp hours versus what was it that we just looked at? We were looking at the 18650 batteries. Take me back. Um, oh yeah, there we go. So that would be, let's see. Yeah, I think like 3000. I guess about 3000 is where that would top out. 2800, 2600, 35 amp, 2800, 35 amp. Wow, those are so cheap. Why are they so cheap right now? That's crazy. 235. Well, I don't think they were $7, but 235. That's pretty crazy. Um Interesting. But so what I think I'm gonna have to get one of these. Or get one of these types of drones or build one. But to be honest, I should probably just get it because I actually want to like fly it and not just like build it as like a project. Because I think that would just be a really, I don't know. That seems like just a super simple experience of like you just take the batteries out and you pop them in, just like they're like double A's or something. That seems cool. That seems pretty cool. Um, yeah, the Recon series. Got the 5-inch. Interesting. Let's see what is the weight on that. The weight is 180 grams. Now I take that. That's without the battery. So that would not be the all up weight. So HD version 180 grams, plus or minus 5 grams. Analog's a little lighter, and nothing is definitely lighter than that. So total package weight. Oh wait, what total package weight? The 04 version does not include batteries. Is 356 grams. That's weird. What do you mean total package weight? I don't know. I would have thought that this was intended to be sub 250 for the all the sub 250 rules and stuff like that. Um, which I think they're kind of silly. I think the whole sub 250 limit is silly, but love it or hate it, it has driven a lot of manufacturers to come up with lighter designs for drones. And lighter is better because that means more flight time and less mass to crash. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, that's yeah, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. All right. Wow. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Anybody who's here, welcome. Otherwise, it's super dead tonight. Very strange. I would have I understood why it'd be kind of dead at 12 o'clock p.m. on most days. That makes sense. But on a Friday, that's okay. Um, let's answer a question. Let's answer a question here. All right, so we've got let me try to pull up the question here. Can I let me see if I can do this. See if this will work like how I think it's gonna work. All right, let me come back to me. Wham! There we go. All right. Pull this up. Get that guy. Close that back down. All right. I think this will work. Let's go to. I think we're gonna answer this question and then probably hang up our hat. Actually, for the evening, because everything is just super chill, all quiet on the Eastern Front, and which maybe that's good because people don't have problems that need solving. So we'll just have to catch you probably tomorrow. But let's answer this question. So let's go back to the desktop camera. So we've got a comment here from a viewer at TCIDDY. He says, I just bought a RC Hornet jet. I'm struggling with the receiver. My control don't connect and my plane don't want to function. I followed the steps on connecting them from the manual, but I have no luck. Crying emoji. Any ideas? So I have questions. So the question is, what actually is the problem? It sounds like the actual problem is my controller doesn't connect to the receiver and my plane doesn't want to function. Well, your plane won't function if it's not connected to the receiver for sure. So so it's RC Hornet Jet. We're going to look that up. I don't know if that's I don't know what brand it is. I don't know if it's a brand or what's going on here. So we're missing some information. So it'd be good to have some more information about what's your transmitter, what's your receiver. I know it's on the Fly Sky video, but still, I don't know what your transmitter or receiver is. Probably Fly Sky. That's going to make a big difference. Hornet Jet. Let's see, what is that? What does that come up as? I am seeing the FMS. Maybe this is what it is. I don't really know. But the point here is we're kind of using this as a lesson to kind of understand how to troubleshoot, basically. Oh, one other thing about this is the big thing. So again, I don't know what your receiver and transmitter are, but if they are FlySky and you need to like the first step would be to make sure that the receiver and transmitter can work together, and you can check that out by there's a basically a chart over on FlySky's website, and I made a video about it, and I'm trying to pull up that video now. Yeah, it's called like FlySky. It's called like FlySky compatibility. This one, which FlySky receivers and transmitters work together. And you can see the chart. It looks like this. You can go watch that video, or you can just go to the FlySky website or go to find the video, and then I'll have links to that chart. So that would be the first thing, is to make sure your transmitter and your receiver are actually compatible, because you might have like one that uses a different FlySky protocol and stuff like that. And then you got to make sure that they're actually bound, which that is the video that you watch was the FlySky receiver not binding, fixes for 2 common problems with binding FlySky receivers. And so that sounds like that's like probably your actual issue there. But as far as if this, I don't know if this is the model or not, but um this one's a plug and play. So you would plug the receiver in and then you can play. So this one, so yeah, I mean, basically, yeah, the first step is going to be making sure your transmitter is talking to your receiver, and then actually connecting everything as it says in the manual. Where's the manual? There's a manual. Let's pull up this manual and just take a look here. And we've got induction, main wing installation. Okay, so that's like assembling everything. Wow, it's got a lot of stuff going on to it. Wow. Flying. Brushless ESC introduction. Okay. Wires connection. There we go. So the speed controller can be connected to the motor by soldering directly or with high quality connectors. Always use new connectors, which should be soldered carefully to the cables and insulated with heat shrink tubing. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. So let's see, signal wire and then reverse signal wire. Reverse signal wire. Solder controller to the motor wires. Solder appropriate connectors to the battery wires. Hey, over on YouTube, Mord FPV. Welcome. Hello. Hello there. We're just going through trying to solve this problem of the receiver not working with this FMS Hobby Hornet RC Jet. Plug the JR connector into the receiver throttle channel. Controller red and black wires connects to battery pack. Red and black wires respectively. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of duh. But I mean, if not duh if you haven't like done it before, but I mean, what I mean here is it looks fairly standard, except for the reverse signal wire. Throttle signal wire and then reverse signal wire. Do they mean receiver? No, that doesn't make sense. Receiver signal wire? I don't know, but then they go through the throttle calibration. So you're going to want to do the throttle calibration. But again, you got to make sure that your transmitter is connected. So I'm not really going to go any further through this stuff, but that's something that you'd have to figure out, is like if you've gotten past the problem here of just having the transmitter connected. So hopefully that answered your question. I think I will try to write that out at some point so that you actually see that, because you're probably not watching this live stream. But that would be how I would go about solving that problem. So shabwam, there you go. All right. Do we have any more questions or discussion points over on Instagram? I see we have a couple people coming and hanging out. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Let me see. Yeah, and we were just talking about how crazy 18650 batteries, how far the technology has come to allow for high amp draw, which is really cool. I and because we were talking about the HGLRC Recon 35, I I think I am a big fan of smaller than 5-inch drones. I mean, the 5-inch drone, that's the classic. That's the standard, but I really feel like times are a changing because we have so many, just the motors are getting better, the batteries are getting better, everything is just getting better. And I don't know if it's getting that much lighter, but it is getting much better in terms of like more efficient and stuff. And specifically cameras are getting lighter. Cameras, the actual HD camera can be used like to record video. And we talked about this previously on a live stream this week, but we were talking about 360 cameras, like the big one that just came out was the anti-gravity A1 or something like that. That is a 360 video drone, but DJI is supposed to be coming out with a 360 video drone, which seems pretty great. And just like, pretty much everything that DJI makes, like very like well thought out and designed and stuff like that. So I think really that's the direction that I would want to be going. And it's in terms of like for professional use or for like specific, unless like if you just really like doing 360 video. But for me specifically, I'm thinking like if I was doing like a paid job and and it was like, hey, film this thing, or whatever the example is, like, oh, film this whatever speedboat, or film these jet skis going on the water. And especially if there's multiple things, it'd be so much better to be able to just fly the drone and concentrate on that instead of trying to line up the shot while flying the drone, because then you're being the camera operator and the drone operator, which are two very different or can be very different jobs, and two jobs that you really need to pay attention to in both ways. So I think 360 drones are going to be, I think that'd be really useful, because then you can just reframe it later. So potentially like a complete, I know everybody says game changer, like that's, oh, this is a game changer, it's so big this deal, whatever, blah. But I think it would be a game changer. But I don't really know because I haven't tested it out yet. But that's been an idea that I've been wanting to do, but then it's like a project and it's like turns into like too big of a thing. So, you know, it ends up like not really happening. Um, so anyway, I can just be thankful that manufacturers are having the same ideas and using their manufacturing power to actually make it happen. And then I can actually use the thing instead of just having like a cool project. But projects are cool. You know what? Just for funsies, why don't we head over to GoPro and see what they're up to now? And this ties in because we're talking about 5-inch drones, and we're talking about how I think there's just not as much of a need for a 5-inch size FPV drone. They're bigger, they're louder, the batteries are bigger, they cost more, and the smaller drones can be as efficient or as powerful or as fast in some cases. Sometimes, and I don't have the most experience with this, but sometimes like if you do need like a really fast drone, like it needs to be bigger. Um, but but that, it kind of depends as well, like with the weight and stuff like that. So anyway, so GoPro, what are they doing? I haven't really been keeping up with them. They're up to like what, the Hero 27 or something. They got the Max 2, the the Lit Hero, LIT Hero, Hero 13, Hero 13 Black Ultra Wide Edition, Hero 12 Black. Do I have a 12 or do I have an 11? I don't remember. I have a 12. Okay, this guy. So this seems to be GoPro's attempt at what? What is it? Oh, it's like it can go on a keychain. Isn't that cute? It goes on a keychain. Who would carry that on a keychain? That's the dumbest thing ever. Because that lens is going to get scratched all the heck. But anyway, sure looks good in the marketing. So I guess they're basically saying it's just a really convenient GoPro, which is funny because the GoPro was supposed to be like super convenient anyway. But then they're like, hey, it's a built-in LED light. Okay. Why? But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being extra critical right now, but that seems like a really weak selling point that it has a light, because they're like, "Hey, look, it's another thing that you can carry around that like does what your phone does." I don't know. I mean, I do. I mean, that said, I am for not necessarily depending on having your phone with you all the time, to be able to like take pictures and stuff, because that gets annoying, right? Like it's so convenient that your phone does everything, but it's also kind of annoying because then you end up having to have it with you all the time, and you just don't always want that. Um, but all right, that's all great marketing stuff, replaceable lens cover, blah blah blah. But what what do we really care about, guys? Let's be honest here. Okay. What we really care about is the specs, tech specs. And what we really care about the tech specs is the weight. 93 grams. 93 grams. Just for funsies, let's go over to Insta360. Let's check out Insta360 because well, now they're showing it on their website. Oh, that's interesting. The anti-gravity A1. That's right. That's their 360 drone, which is that's really cool too, except my whole thing is like, why aren't there propeller guards? There need to be propeller guards, for sure. But that's pretty cool though. Okay, so we've got Insta360. Let's go to their products. Blah blah blah. The Insta360 Go Ultra, and then they have the Go 3S. So why am I looking this up? I'm looking this up because it kind of looks like this is what GoPro is trying to compete with. Their Lit Hero, um, and that one's 93 grams. The newest Insta360 Go 3S, which is larger than they're making it larger every time. Stop it, make it smaller. Is 39 grams. So that's crazy, right? That is way, way smaller. Now, granted, it doesn't have a screen. Doesn't have a screen. The Lit Hero has a screen, and it has like, well, no, I guess that's the biggest difference. It has a screen. And has a light, but you don't care about having a light on it if you're flying it, putting it on an FPV drone or something like that. So that's something to consider. Um, hmm. Quality video, 4K, blah blah blah. So many of these products I'm finding the on paper they're so similar, and they're kind of like they might have the same specs in many cases, and it's really just a matter of like you need to try it out to really be able to see the difference. And then also so much of it is just the function as well. Um, I don't know. I have a. Do I still have it? Do I have it? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I have the Insta360 Go 2, and it has not been reliable. It's kind of annoying that the whole front face is a button, and there's a lot of inadvertent turning it on, or even worse, turning it off, I would say, because of that. And then also it, tends to like the battery is not super amazing. And granted, I bought mine secondhand, but I don't think it was that like super duper used. So the Go 3S, okay, and then the Go 3. So okay, so the Go 3 is 2.7K. The Go 3S is 4K. So that would be more of competing with the Hero, the Lit Hero or whatever. All right, let's check this out. So they've got the little guy, and then the Hero 13, which is the bigger standard one. Looks like it has the heat sink now and all that stuff, which is nice. There's even GoPro, kind of the classic standard for, FPV drones and stuff. The more recent versions, I think because it was doing like 4K and like especially with 4K 60 and stuff like that, it would overheat and you wouldn't have good reliability. So let's look at the tech specs. The weight is mm, wow, 159 grams. Holy smokes, it's crazy. That's crazy. But so here's the thing, though, right? So you've got so cameras are getting better. That's great. Battery technology it's getting better. That's great. It's getting lighter, more powerful. However, if we look at the DJI, what is it? I think it's the O4 Air unit. Let's look at that. DJI Series O4 Air unit. Okay, so I haven't kept up on this either. I'm back on the O3 unit uh iteration, and I'm still trying to enjoy that, man. And then you come out with a new one. But anywho, so it says 8.2 grams, a half-inch image sensor. Wait, isn't that like insane? Um, I can't remember what the previous one is, to be honest. But 4K 60 video. The DJI O4 Air Unit Pro boasts an enhanced imaging capability with a 1 over 1.3 inch image sensor. What does that even mean? A one in Isn't that smaller? I don't know. I'm not gonna try and work numbers right now. Interesting. Interesting here. Okay. Oh, that's right, because they came out with the small one. Oh, the little tiny guy, and then the bigger one. I gotta hand it to DJI, with this stuff. I mean, they're really good at what they do. They're really good at what they do. So the whole thing is you have because I think they realize like people are like taking air units apart and stuff. So you can have oh, okay. So it is actually bigger. That's pretty freaking incredible. 10-bit D-Log. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. I'm pretty sold on that. So that kind of goes to my point of what I was saying about how or I guess I didn't get to the point yet. But the point is that you can have very, very capable smaller drones. They're lighter, they fly for longer because the batteries are better, and you don't need a GoPro anymore. And since you don't need this larger camera that in order to get better image quality, um you don't need a larger drone and everything. So it kind of all snowballs. And so and it's and so my thing is uh basically what I'm looking at. um, is if I'm going to be doing uh FPV drone work, like not like so not just flying like for fun, but I'm flying to film something for somebody. Um, I'm thinking that what it's going to be is either an FPV drone that's super small, like as small as possibly can be, and very quiet, and able to fly over crowds based on the rules. If they haven't changed yet, I'll need to check that. But so like have prop guards and stuff. That was the whole thing that I was trying to work on with the build that I did. I have a few videos on that where I was trying to do I think it was a 4 inch, um, a sub 254 inch with prop guards and stuff. So the idea is you can meet all those requirements to legally fly over crowds, and it's just safer for indoor flying and all that kind of stuff, and it's quiet, which is just practically better because it's way better if just nobody notices it in the first place and it's not bothering people. um so the point is that whole setup, so like very lightweight, and you're still getting plenty good enough quality for social media, because like let's be realistic, most of the time when we're watching videos, it's on a very small screen, or it's very small on a larger screen. So you don't need uh, the best GoPro level quality, like dedicated camera level quality. So I'd see that as like the small FPV version, or next size up would be a 360 drone. I think DJI is making their 360 drone to be sub 250 grams, and it has ducted or protected propellers as far as I can tell. So that looks really interesting. Oh, and you can do ND filters as well, which is super cool. Um, so that looks really interesting as well. But so I'm thinking the next level up would be 360 drone. Um, and then yeah, so that would be again for the FPV side. So that would basically be it for the FPV drone type stuff. For myself, I don't see myself putting a big camera on there, or with like a gimbal, or dedicated dedicated camera on there. See, like this kind of thing, like I know this is just like a concept art kind of deal, but this is what I'm talking about, where you have like a teeny tiny drone that would be like impossible to cause problems, like impossible to like hurt somebody, or anybody would see that and not be intimidated by it. Something like that would be super great, especially if you're when you want to fly like around crowds, like around people, and have it be like really safe and small. And then something that maybe is like a tiny bit bigger, but you're getting like more for like open flying, wind, whatever. Like this would be more for like very specific kind of shots. But anyway, um I think I lost my train of thought, what I was saying, but that's okay because I think I got my point across there, that there would be those pretty much three types of drones. Well, so yeah, so you have like your maybe micro FPV drone, your 3.5 inch, basically, which would replace the 5 inch drone, and then your 360 drone. Um, yeah, probably. And then your Mavic. In my case, a Mavic 3, for your wide, big shots, or if you need to like fly faster, or just you're kind of your typical camera drone type of stuff. So there you go. Well, that was fun. Oh, and then we have all the goggles. Oh boy, the goggles. This is something I need to get figured out as well, because I haven't been keeping up. And now you've got the goggles 2, not to be confused with goggles V2. You have the goggles 2, D, the Integra, the goggles 3, and then the goggles N3. Maybe we'll look into that next time and go through uh, which one. And thank you, DJI. Thank you for just putting them side by side and explaining the differences. So many manufacturers do not do that. Like, what is wrong with you people? Like, just put them side by side so I can actually choose between your products instead of just get confused and frustrated. So that's great. So 4K 60, that one still does 4K 60, but I think it's not going to look as good as kind of what they're saying. This one you can do the D-Log M color mode. This looks like that one has dual antennas, so I would imagine you're going to get better reception. I think that one has ND filters. I don't think the 04, the Air U, or gosh, what? I don't think the non-Pro one has ND filters. Um, yeah, and they're saying 3 inches above, 2 inches below. That's just suggestions or whatever. So that's fascinating, fascinating stuff. Um, yeah, interesting. And I haven't watched any videos about that or whatever, but so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff. Hey, Sam over on the YouTube side says, "Hey, are you taking random 3D printing questions?" Yes, I am. We are yeah, put your question in there. We are right about to wrap up, but we can take one more question. And we are live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. If you are just joining us, we are talking about drones and 3D printing and stuff. We were just talking about DJI, the new O4 Air unit, and my whole kind of theory and concept about drones as of late, FPV drones, and about kind of how the 5-inch drone is. It's still totally capable, but it's like no longer needed. Like, why would you do a 5-inch drone? It's just big. It's big and kind of heavier than it needs to be because it doesn't need to take a big camera because the cameras are getting smaller, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, so we got time for, I think, one more question or so. But yeah, if you're a beginner in drones and 3D printing and stuff, uh, and you are just finding yourself, you're like, why isn't this working? And you need some live help, leave your question down in the comments section below on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And we're gonna try and get you some help here. You know what I'm saying? Typically, I've been going live at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, but things got switched around today. So, so I'm doing it in the evening time, and which I realize I don't prefer to do that because I'm like tired. My brain like doesn't work as well actually in the evening time. And I thought there'd be a whole bunch of people, um, like more people than normal, but it doesn't seem like it. I don't know. Maybe they're busy doing other stuff on Friday evening, I guess. But that's cool. All right, so Sam over on YouTube says, cool stream. Don't know much about drones, but looking into getting into some of that FPV stuff. It's fun. It's never been easier because there are so many options, but in some ways it's also more harder and complex to figure out what to get in some cases. It depends on what you want to get. As for the print, I want to make a wall mount for a snowboard and was looking for filament recommendation. Hey, we got Simone, something like that over on YouTube. What's up? Welcome. So the question is filament recommendation for a 3D printing a snowboard wall mount. So first of all, cool. Um, well, I'll tell you what. I know this is going to be not a surprise to anybody who's been watching the channel lately, but my go-to 3D filament is 3D Fuel. 3D Fuel. So 3D Fuel, I just love their stuff. It's American made. It's so I usually use the Tough Pro PLA Plus. Um, it's just I really like it. I've been using this actually almost like ever since I got into 3D printing actually, and I think they're just now kind of starting to get a little bit more popular, which is good to see. And they've improved a lot of stuff. So this stuff is just really durable. It's been really easy to print with, a lot of colors. So my other thing that I do is I have a business called Fun Fidgets. So fun. And so we 3D print fidget toys, basically. And I use 3D Fuel filament basically exclusively. I am not officially sponsored or officially affiliated with them, but I have an affiliate uh, link. So I think in the description of this live stream, and I think on all my videos, I have an affiliate link that you can click on to go check this out if you want to like support. Like I'll get a little commission if you make a purchase. But you can use code RCwithAdam 10. No, not 10. Just RCwithAdam and get 10% off your order. So I'm kind of I'm selling you on this, but only because I'm so sold on this. So that's typically what I use is the Tough Pro PLA Plus. They have the standard PLA Plus. They have silk now, which is pretty cool actually. I don't know if you care about like what color it is. Probably my overall favorite is the dual blue green silk, which is really cool. I'm so glad they started doing that. They don't make other things like TPU and stuff. I wish they did. They also have Pro PCTG, which apparently is like supposed to replace PETG. Um, and they have it in a lot of different colors. I haven't printed with PCTG a whole lot, but it is way more flexible and ductile than PLA Plus. Um, and yeah, so it really depends on if you know what kind of colors you want and stuff like that. If you want like a specialty filament, um, that like looks really cool. So if you're going more like for, I guess, a specific look, Protopasta, they probably make some of the most interesting um types of filament. Um, it's Protopasta, right? Yeah. So personally, I've used their filament. It does look really awesome. Like there's no doubt about it. Like I wish that 3D Fuel, just because I love 3D Fuel so much because it's so durable, but I wish that 3D Fuel made stuff like Protopasta. But that's kind of this is kind of Protopasta's thing. I mean, they have metal filaments, which are super cool. But if it's a mount, I don't know how strong like a snowboard mount needs to be on the wall. So, but there's some options there for you. They've got all kinds of super cool colors. The Nebula is really cool. I really like that one. Yeah. So I'd say for cool colors, Protopasta, and I'm assuming we're talking like regular 3D printing, like with the normal filament and stuff like that. But if you need durability and well, I was gonna say American made, but I'm pretty sure Protopasta is also based in. Where are they based? I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're also American made, but 3D Fuel is my preference, and you can get 10% off using code RCwithAdam at checkout. So there you go. Did I answer your question? I hope that helped anyhow. Do we have any more questions? Any more questions over at Instagram? Instagram. We are live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well. Doesn't look like it right now. Oh, YouTube. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good right now. I'm doing pretty good. I'm fighting off all this stuff that's been going around, you know what I mean? That other people have been getting just going around that time of the year. But I am thankful that I'm doing as good as I am. That's for sure. And Sam over on YouTube says, awesome. Thanks for the help. I'll check out some more 3D filaments, but shipping prices and times to AUS might be a pain. Aus? Oh, well, you didn't say Australia. I'm assuming that's what AUS stands for. Um, yeah, I don't know. I unfortunately I don't know of like I'm not sure what would be the best to ship to Australia or anything like that. But you could check them out, see about that. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll ship. They ship worldwide. I don't know, but they probably do. And I'm not sure of any like filament manufacturers in Australia. So in that case, I don't know if like an Amazon alternative would work well. Um, yeah, I'm not sure about that. And they have so many cool colors though. I need to make some videos about these. I really do, because I feel like there's not info about these guys. But maybe that'll be another topic for another live stream as well. All right, well, that's going to do it for this hour. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I think we had a fantastic time. As usual, we learned some stuff. We kind of dug deeper into, I don't know, different things on the market, new things and stuff like that. And we talked about my philosophy of where at least I am going to be sort of heading in the drone sphere in terms of prioritizing FPV drones and how that stuff works or something like that. Anyway, we had a great time. Thanks for hanging out over on Instagram, and I will see you all, if not tomorrow, probably Monday. Bye, Instagram, and on Facebook. See you later, Facebook. And last but not least, over on YouTube. Have a fantastic night, everybody. Get some rest. Stay safe out there. And I will see you again, probably actually very soon.